Okay, we're out of the studio right now. Now, a lot of you are probably wondering, how can I take pictures as well as somebody with a professional camera and professional lights? Well, let me show you a little secret. See all this? This is called light. You have it, I have it, the person on the street, everybody has light available to them. Now, one of the things that are most fun to take are pictures of your pets or your kids. Now, here's a little tip. You can take a picture standing up here, like this, and it's basically, all right, you got a picture of the dogs, big deal. But let's get down at their level. This is great with kids too. If you don't mind getting dirty, folks, get on down, get to their level. Hey kids. Now, having cooperative subjects help too, but that's girls, boys. Come on, guys. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay. Always praise them. Good. Just like here. You want to see the picture? There you go. Communicate with your subjects. Okay. Come here. Come here, babies. Come on. Good. Good. Okay. Now I'm going to get down even lower on the floor, and let's get their real personalities. All right? Yeah, there we go. Good. Okay, could you step back a little bit, honey? Okay, that's it. Lick the lens. All right, guys. Okay. All right, let's step back a little bit. Okay, come on. There we go. And you, come on. Come on. There we go. Okay, let your subject see you're interested. Here, you want to see your picture? Yeah, that's you. You too. See? I may be joking here, but communicating with the kids or the dogs or any subject is always a good step to connecting with your subject. It makes them feel there's a connection. Now, another thing about holding your cameras. You're on the set, baby. See, I'm putting the camera down here. There we go. Hey, come on. Come on. Come on, baby. There we go. Okay? Okay. Now here, there we go. Now I have a lovely assistant. She's going to, hello, lovely assistant. If you could grab one of the puppies or both puppies. Okay. Now we're getting a little bit more formal, folks. Okay. Would you pick the puppy up? Okay. It just doesn't matter. There we go. There we go. Hey, baby. There we go. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. Okay. Now let's get the other. There we go. There we go. Okay, they get into it. Okay, now we're getting a performance. See, folks, one of the things you need to consider when being a photographer is patience. Sometimes it takes time. You're not going to go out there and get that picture right off. Wait, look for it to happen, and then take your pictures. Once again, I stress patience. Beautiful. Girls. Okay. Okay, let's discuss a photographic issue. What makes a good picture of a flower is not what makes a good picture of a dog or a child. Dogs and kids are always moving around. You lose a picture sometimes by trying to pose. It just doesn't work. Now, this picture of the dog, the lines of the boards come together. The dog is in the center. We've got a little bit of motion, but dogs are in motion all the time. This picture is a strong picture of a dog. Remember we were discussing light? Well, once again, the aesthetic for taking a picture of an animal in motion is a little bit different. We've got a tiny bit of shade, the picture's a tiny bit underexposed, but that really doesn't matter here. What we're doing is we're capturing a picture of a dog's motion, of a dog's personality. Here's the dog in motion again. We've got some sneakers in the background, but you know what? It doesn't really bother. We've got the lines there. In fact, in some way, the sneakers even add to the picture. All right, another portrait of the puppy. It works. She stopped moving for a little bit. Again, we like the angle of the boards. The lighting's a little bit off again, but again, that's not the criteria for this picture. It's an interesting picture, but you know what? Let's change the angle. Remember we approached angles in the other picture? Let's approach it again here. Let's get down a little bit to the dog's level. All right, we'll come down a little bit lower here. And remember we were discussing the problem of the distracting background in the other pictures? Well, you know what? In this case, the distracting background has begun to work a little bit. It brings your eye over to the side of the picture. We're getting more of the personality of the dogs. We're getting something here that works a little bit better, but let's get even lower. The distracting background here is beginning to work a little bit. Notice how the legs of the chair echo the legs of the dog. Notice how the white of the chair begins to echo the white of the dog, and the red really picks up there. So remember, every now and then what was an obstacle in one case won't always be an obstacle in another case. We're getting lower. Let's get all the way down to the dog's level. Now here's an interesting example of composition. The dogs are not acting. They're doing what dogs always do. One is going in one direction, another's going in another direction. We've brought in somebody from the house. The red of her shirt and the blue of the pants are picking the picture up a little bit. And even though we're not happy with the lighting, the colors compensate for that. We're down even lower now. And we've begun to include the distracting backgrounds. We've got the chairs back there. The chairs echo the white of the white dog. And now we've got the arm of the cameraman filming this. This lends to a little bit of humor in there. Are the dogs posing for the camera? All right. Now we've taken the distracting background to its limit. We've put people in the background. They give a sense of environment. They give a sense of place and time. The dogs are moving forward. And we've got people actually surrounding them. There's the man to the side filming it. There's somebody standing in the background between the two dogs, and that seems to emphasize the dogs coming forward to us. And there's somebody standing off to the left side. They've actually begun to frame the dogs and emphasize them. And again, we're getting lower down to the ground. It's becoming a much more interesting image. We're looking at this picture from the angle of the other dog. Maybe the other dog took this picture. Now, once again, we have distracting backgrounds, but you know what? It kind of works. And the dog is a little bit out of focus, but it works too. They're in motion, they're coming in close, they're never sitting still. There's something very strong about this image, including the foot to the side. Again, it lends a certain sense of environment, and you could always crop the picture out later on. All right, this is where it all comes together. The dog is actually stopping and staring at the camera, and there's a certain element of humor here because this tiny dog looks a little bit like an elephant. See the way the ears are sticking out? Have you ever seen an elephant at the zoo or in a magazine? What's also working here is the sky, the blue of the sky, the green of the leaves. As in the other picture with the flowers, with the yellow and the green, we have the blue and the green working here. We have the repeating shape of the fence, and the dog is offset to the side. This is a picture. This is a wonderful picture. A little bit of humor, a little bit of emotion, composition, it all works. All right, we're taking a slightly different approach here. What we've done is we've asked our subject to wear a red shirt and blue jeans, and this kicks the picture up a little bit. This again compensates for poor lighting. Now the angle is nice, the dog's looking at the picture. She's a little bit out of focus, but you can see there's a real connection with her and the dog. This is another picture that works. Okay, the important thing about this picture is the emotion in the picture. The love for this girl and her dog, how the dog is leaning back into her, and even the way the dog is standing her on that slight angle across her. Again, the red is kicking it up a little bit, the blue jeans are kicking up a little bit. We've learned how to compensate, how we deal with shade and disconcerting background. You see the background a little bit out of focus and a little bit too bright, but the jeans and the red compensate for that. Now what we've done here a little bit is we've relied on the dog to give us an interesting picture. It looks like a circus dog. It's standing on its hind legs, it's pointing at the dog in her arms. Again, we've got a little bit of out of focus, the background a little blurry and a little bit shiny, but we've used the color to compensate, and we've been patient, and we got the dog to stand up and look a little bit like a little kid. Here we go again. I'm beginning to think that the dog is actually acting here. The way the dog's paws on the girl's arm, the way it's touching the other dog. There's a connection between three beings here. There's the girl, There's the beige colored dog and the little white colored dog. There's something happening here. It draws your attention, even though we're a little bit out of focus, even though, again, we've got a little bit of shade, and even though, again, the background is washed out, the picture still jumps out. We're going to call this picture Tag You're It. We've caught the motion, how the dog is leaping onto the back of the other dog. You can actually see the features on the white dog. It looks a little bit like she's afraid. And we even got the person in the background there. But see how the angle of the person leads down to the two dogs? It draws our eye to the center there. We've got a little bit of a disconcerting background there, but you know what? The little colors there, the green of the trees, the blue, the lines of the window panes, they echo the other lines there of the boards. It's a picture, it's not perfect, but it's a fascinating image nevertheless.